back again with Three Dudes in a Dock.
Yes,
in person.
Yeah.
Still, it's great.
Yeah, it feels good. Eh?
it does. It's
I'm so
normal.
glad to not be remotely doing this
Oh,
any
yeah.
longer.
So much easier.
Yeah.
So much easier.
Such a pain.
Fuck Zoom.
Yeah.
We didn't even use it, but whatever.
No, yeah.
I just felt like
Fuck it
saying
anyways.
Yeah, who cares?
Okay.
The lovely documentary that we watched this week was
American Teen.
yes,
Holy fuck.
I think just
Man.
overall, boo.
American kids are crazy.
Yeah. I mean, we all went to high school. My high school experience was not anywhere near that.
No,
No,
it's so weird how it seems that like every American high school is like there's so much pressure put on you for those 4 years that like every kid needs to be like a John Hughes movie
Yeah.
or like it has to be perfect, and you're like, man, like this doc might have been a little bit better if they went to like a really diverse town or like some school in the hood.
Right.
Where you're like these kids, these like white Indiana kids are like, oh, these are my problems. And then they'd go to like a poor community where they're like, yeah, I slept in a box and like, I don't know my parents.
Yeah.
And I have to get an education. And like, that's way crazier
Well,
than these like borderline racist white Indiana kids.
especially during
just the one
yeah,
girl.
especially during these times, like where we're central focus right now is racism,
Yeah.
and systemic racism, and there were literally like there's one black guy
On the
this movie-
basketball team
in this movie
who was
that-
friends with someone
yeah.
that's profiled.
that they never talked to. Like
Yeah.
he was just in the background all
Yeah.
the time, and it was weird.
The only
like-
time he had a soundbite was when the basketball player was making fun of him,
Yeah,
saying he looked like fat Michael.
yeah, Fat Magic Johnson.
Yeah. And the black kid was kind of like, like laughing, but
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
why did they never talk to him?
Yeah, like so odd.
And there's just
So
a
odd.
weird pressure that like the parents
Yeah.
put on everyone for everything of like if you're poor or if you're from wealth.
Yeah.
Like they just pressure them for the weirdest shit.
And I have to like most of these kids are really fucking shitty people,
Yeah,
or
they're
they
not-
were during high school.
They're not great.
No,
Yeah.
They're also like 18-year-old
Definitely.
kids, so like whatever.
but yeah, like the one girl.
I didn't do half that shit.
No.
I didn't. I never spray painted someone's house or toilet papered them. I know that was one person, but I also didn't just like cycle through girls and also be rude to them and therefore continue the cycle. And I
Yeah.
don't know. Like there was just a lot of poor behavior.
It would have
Yeah.
been great if the one, like the guy who just had a bunch of girlfriends, he was like, I got AIDS. It's like, man, I got this STD. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like the one girl, Megan, I think her name is. She was
Yeah,
part
the
of
rich girl?
Yeah, part of the prom committee, and she
Yeah.
didn't get her way on the theme.
But I got to ask you a quick question,
Yeah.
Tyler. What was that theme that she wanted?
Oriental.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
So
then the theme that they went with
was
was,
jungle,
oh, okay, that's better.
but then they changed it to jungle love.
Oh, okay.
And
Which
so
is,
when she didn't get her way, she went and like toilet papered the kid's house who
Yep.
picked jungle
Yep,
and spray painted a dick on his window.
Yep.
And wrote a homophobic slur.
yep.
Like
It was fag.
that is true. That is true.
Yes.
There was so much in this movie that I found to be almost produced. Like there was a huge giveaway when they were having the house party at, I think it was Megan's house.
Yeah.
And Megan's best friend was getting a little bit too close with.
They were also drinking, so they're clearly underage.
Yeah, that
I'm
was
like,
a
I
weird
don't
facet
get
of this
what
as
that's
well.
about.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how you
But-
could do that.
Yeah. Then Megan got into an argument with her best guy friend there. I can't remember his name.
Jeff.
Jeff.
John.
What? It slaps him straight up, but it's a quick cut edit,
Yeah.
one slap scene, and then it cuts right back out.
Yeah.
And there is no fucking way that wasn't scripted.
No,
Oh,
because the kids
sure.
would have been moving around and the camera, like the crew would have been like, whoa, what was going on?
Yeah, it looks so much different because
Yeah.
like we have the ability to home document on-site guerrilla style with our cell phones now.
Yeah.
Everyone does. So like
Yeah.
we've all seen videos on World Star of kids getting slapped at house parties.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like that.
No.
Right.
And that makes me think that a lot of the other stuff was prompted.
So I was reading before or as we were watching the documentary, just
Oh, yeah,
before
this
we
is
started
good.
recording, on Wikipedia. So kind of there's a few headings like the plot, primary characters, and then criticism. So one of the criticisms that it was staged, like there was parts of it were scripted.
They Michael Moored it. God damn it.
Yeah, and so it says scripted arguments and cue cards. Also,
So that was definitely
yeah.
scripted then for sure.
Also, the one kid,
Jacob or Jake?
Jake,
Yeah.
it's kind of like the geek kind
Casanova.
of gamer,
Casanova.
Yeah. And apparently they continually forced him to try and get a girlfriend,
What?
or he would be removed from the film.
Man, that's such a weird conversation that an adult was like, all right, 16-year-old kid, you got to try and get some pussy or you're out of this movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is the weirdest conversation. Or like, and going into this, was it not like we're just observing these kids doing what they do? Like, it's not like if it's supposed to be a social experiment or a science experiment, you can't be like, no. It has to be like this.
Yeah,
Like, just fucking hands off and let it go.
literally just sit back and watch shit come.
Yeah, and like we said, they had like before we were recording, we found out the budget, and they had like $5 million. So it's not like they're like, listen, dude, we got $100,000, and when they have a week, so
Yeah.
you kind of got to get some shit going.
yeah,
Like they followed them for like almost a year or something.
yeah. It's
And like, what the fuck did they spend this $5 million on? The alcohol.
This is actually this.
They
this
gave
is
the kids
something
the
that,
alcohol.
I had thought pretty much from the beginning, but this is a terrible documentary.
yeah. I mean, like we got a lot of comedic value out of it. Like I think we laughed through like 90% of the whole thing.
It's a great hate watch. It's a great hate watch.
That's good call.
I just feel
Like it's a great hate watch.
like it was done in 2008. I feel like it hasn't aged well.
No,
At all.
no.
It has
Like if
not.
any of these kids want to like run for office or like be famous or anything, they're gonna be like, "Hey, Megan, remember that time you spray painted this?"
Yeah,
They're like, "Oh shit,
yeah,
yeah."
yeah. It's just like
But it does really paint a picture of like, holy fucking shit. Like Midwestern towns seem so fucked.
Yeah.
Like it's awesome when you're a little kid and then you're not really conscious of your environment, and then when you get conscious of your environment, you're like, oh man, this sucks.
yeah.
Like-
If Any Town USA is actually like this,
Oh Jesus Christ! Which they probably are.
Yeah.
Because like there's so much pressure on school and shit. This just reminded me when I was in high school. I had a teacher that grew up in communist Poland, and we were like, "Dude, what was that like?" And he's like, "Man, when you're a kid, it's the coolest shit ever. Like there's no criminals. There's no like I could be run around at midnight and like no one gave a fuck. The only people that you would run into would be like military guys, and they'd be like, "Hey, where are you going? Like just make sure you go home." He's like, "I could do anything." But then you get to like 17, 18, when you're like conscious or like that age to be
Yeah.
like, oh wait, this is like, we're not allowed to do this. We're not allowed to do this. And like, it fucking sucks. But when you're a kid, he's like, it's the greatest thing ever. So this is like pretty much the exact same thing.
yeah, like these kids had like I don't want to say no supervision because as a kid I had no supervision. Like my parents let me do whatever I wanted, and I didn't do this fucking shit. It just seems like they have crazy childhoods.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the amount of pressure that the one girl's parents put on her to go to Notre Dame
Yeah.
is insane. Like they're saying, oh, only one child in our family didn't go to Notre Dame. And
Oh, what happened to her? Oh, what happened to her, Tyler?
She killed herself
Oh, where? Where exactly?
in the basement.
Oh,
of-
so you guys moved from that house, right?
No.
Ah, okay, cool,
Yeah.
sick. You just like taped off her room and we're like, don't go in there.
And they're like, well, we think that Sarah's death
Yeah.
may be having an effect on Megan.
Yeah, and Megan was
No
14,
shit.
so like and then the parents are like stonewalled,
Yeah.
like whatever. She was the weak one.
Yeah,
Like, holy fuck.
like no shit. It had like your sister just killed herself in the
Yeah.
house you live in.
Yeah.
that will affect anyone.
That would have, and it kind of would have messed up the rhythm, but it would have been neat if they talked to Megan's older siblings that were
Yeah.
like, our parents are pieces of shit. Like, fuck them.
And speaking of older siblings, Jake's older sibling.
That was
The
the
man.
craziest turn.
Oh,
Yeah.
Did
man.
not see that coming.
Did it,
Yeah.
what is, like, it didn't really say, but was his brother like in the military or in school? Or did he say he came back, right?
It didn't really say.
Because it was like, oh, I'm just gonna hang out with my brother this weekend.
Yeah, he didn't live there, but like, so
Okay.
Jake.
But if he's that close, why wouldn't you be like, you're a nerd? Like, dude, your
Yeah.
brother seems cool as fuck. Just
Yeah.
be like, hey, can I come and hang out with you?
Yeah, Jake being the geeky gamer band
Yeah.
guy, was out. I think it was a strip club.
Yeah.
Like and he was 17. Like drinking age in the States is 21.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like he was taking shots and like tits in his face at this bar. Like
yeah.
How did
So I have a theory.
yes.
Indiana.
The fact that the producers egged on him in other facets, and they also egged on him, promoted, suggested, and cue carded the rest of the subjects, definitely makes me think that somehow, just in benign conversation, they caught wind of Jake's older brother and kind of the person that he is. So they literally hunt him down. They call him, and they're just like, hey, we're doing a documentary. We're going to film you having a party time with your brother, and it's going to be fucking great.
Yeah.
We'll make you get into this club.
Yeah.
Because, like, this is an American movie.
Yeah.
We got $5 million. We'll just give the strip club owner $100,000
Man,
and you guys
precisely.
can run that shit.
Like,
yeah.
it's too easy. That's, like, the most American thing they
Right.
could have done.
Yeah.
So I
That-
could totally see them contacting the brother.
That is true because
Knowing
of like
he's
the
wild.
budget being so high. They're like, what did they spend money on?
Yeah.
I'll give them this. It's a super high quality documentary. Like,
But-
camera work is spot
yeah,
on.
but-
Tons and tons of footage.
Yeah.
Good audio.
I still don't.
Good
like,
editing
It's
even.
crazy that it was $5 million. Like someone fucking
Tons of
stole
bribes.
money from somebody. Cause like
I would love to
Jesus.
speak with the director, Nanette Burstein, I think it is.
Yeah.
Nanette Burstein?
Yeah, Nanette Burstein. I don't know if that's like a male or female name, though.
Oh, that's
I believe
confusing because
female.
you're getting confused with that thing on Netflix with that Australian or Tasmanian, not comedian lady
Oh, yeah.
who names is like her name's not Nanette. Like her name's Hannah Gatsby, but the special's called Nanette.
So like,
It's confusing.
well, even Nanette's like Wikipedia page, it doesn't say she or he. It just says Nanette Burstein is an American film and television director.
I think we're heading down a cancel culture road, boys. So maybe let's.
Burstein has produced.
She basically doesn't exist.
Yeah,
Are you saying that if you don't
so-
identify as a male or a female, you don't exist in this world?
under life and career, it says she. So Nanette is a woman.
And the next sentence would be like, he lives with Greg.
What? Back to the start.
This is so confusing.
Yeah. So like this documentary is nominated for the Grand Jury Prize
What?
at Sundance.
That's like that other doc that we watched that won an award, and we're like, that's bullshit. There's
Yeah.
no way this fucking doc won an award.
So
But I feel like this, though, of like Americans, they probably eat this shit up, man.
Yeah.
These people that are like,
Definitely.
I remember when I was in school and there was a Judy just like Megan. And they're like, holy
I wonder
fuck.
if that's kind of what they were going for. Like the way that it's presented to us
Oh,
and the
man.
fact that it kind
Dude.
of got our gears going.
They-
Maybe like calling it even American Teen was supposed
Yeah.
to be like, this is America. Like, isn't it fucking ridiculous?
So
Yeah.
she had 1,000 hours of footage.
Jesus. They
Yeah.
filmed for like 9 months or something,
10
right?
months.
Or 10 months?
Yeah.
Okay.
Holy shit.
Man, when I was in the States, we were in like a random Walmart somewhere, and two ladies, I just overheard a conversation, and just thinking of high school, but they were like, they went to high school together, I guess, and just overheard the conversation, and then like I was dying laughing because they were like, I'm just gonna make up names, but like, oh, Susie, you were like, hey, remember Katie? And they're like, oh yeah, whatever happened? And I'm like, she's in jail, and then like, remember Janet? She's in jail, and like this, and I was walking past these people, so this was like 20 seconds that I heard this, and it was just like talking about jail and incarcerations, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, we're just casually talking about like, oh yeah, she went to jail because she beat up Greg, and they're like, what?
Greg,
Whoa.
you son of a bitch.
Damn.
That's
So
messed
yeah,
up.
like some of these kids might have went on to
Any
have
random
that story.
conversation.
So-
Probably about who went to jail.
Yeah, like
Um,
I graduated high school and then killed 6 people.
I did find a website that
I am really surprised that none of them joined the military though, because I was
Yeah.
for sure thinking that one of them was like, I'm going to save.
I did
Save
find
America.
a website that gives the background on each like or what they're doing now.
Oh, cool.
Keep it up.
Let's
This
check
was
that out.
this was done in 2018. This article, so
So it's still
Yeah, relatively. So,
Megan's in Antifa.
Man, you can die at any point though.
yeah.
So
What? No, you can't.
good call.
So
I forgot.
It's predetermined, dickhead.
For Hannah Bailey, she was the kind of artsy.
Yeah, the California one.
She wanted to move to
Yeah.
California, so she stuck to being a jack of all trades artist. She acted in 2 short films, Night Rituals in 2009 and Pretty Girls in 2013.
Ah.
Both the Night Rituals and a sizzle reel for Pretty Girls are available to watch on Vimeo. Since then,
Pass.
she's been living in Minnesota, working steadily in photography. A link to her website will be provided.
Minnesota.
Her website is hannahTbailey.com.
I take pictures of lakes and trees.
So Megan, the kind of sociopathic prom
You're the runner-up
queen,
for the leader of the KKK?
yeah.
No,
So-
I was too far. I'm sorry, Megan.
After graduating from Notre Dame, Megan went to work with management consulting firm, the Huron Consulting Group. After spending 3 years as a consultant, she
What?
transitioned over to recruiting coordinator. On December 31st, 2017, Megan was married to Mark Figueroa.
How the fuck can you go to college and then be like that just seems weird for
Yeah.
a young person to be like, this is what you need to do. Like,
Yeah.
you graduated 6 months ago. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and it also noted at the end of the documentary that she obviously got into Notre Dame, but went to there for pre-med and finance.
Yeah.
So she obviously dropped the pre-med.
Yeah, because she realized there's money. Oh, no.
You have to help people, dude.
Yeah, but she
gotta help her.
realized there's no money. And then, like, I like.
There's no money in medicine.
Her dad was like, all right, you went to Notre Dame. Now I'm going to teach you about the money thing.
There's
So,
money in influencing.
Yeah.
That's right.
Gross.
So
you need to be what's called a lobbyist.
Mitch Reinhold, he was the pretty boy,
Yeah, who fucked over
our friend Hannah.
Yeah.
So after wrapping up his undergraduate degree, Mitch attended and graduated from Indiana University School of Optometry.
Cool.
He moved back to Warsaw, where he currently practices optometry. He is married with 2 kids.
Oh, neato.
Back to Warsaw. Wow.
So
Back.
Colin and Jake, their stories are a little bit more fleshed out. There's actually interviews with both of them.
I just like to fuck mad bitches.
So Colin was
That's, Jake.
yeah.
Both of them, okay?
Colin was the basketball player who was worried about getting a scholarship
Yeah.
to
And
Indiana
his dad
Tech.
had the greatest job ever.
Yes, yeah, the Elvis impersonator.
My goodness.
Man, okay. I know we were saying that this doc was like not the greatest, but we all have to admit the scene at the end when he won the game and then his dad's giving him life advice. But the key footage is they just show Colin.
Yeah.
And then when his dad's like throwing down life advice and then it cuts to Pop in his fucking work uniform as Elvis. And
Yeah.
you're like, there's no fucking way this dude could be taken seriously.
Yeah, rhinestones and everything.
Like, fuck off. Like, Jesus Christ.
Let's travel to Warsaw and hire him as a.
Oh, dude, it's only like 8 hours and 45 minutes. Like, that
Done.
guy's probably still. He'd probably perform for us.
Yeah, he'd be fat old Elvis now.
Yeah, drugged up Elvis.
Yeah.
And like, sit on the toilet.
So the first question of this interview is first things first. What's going on in your life nowadays? Colin says, "I graduated from Manchester University with a marketing degree. Currently, he is a teacher / basketball coach at Sacred Heart Elementary School. So their boys basketball program had been a perennial loser since '58, and he turned them around. They're top 10 elementary school in our Indiana town.
Okay.
Wait,
Also,
wait.
I just want to say something real quick. How fucking hilarious is it that there's sports records for an elementary
Yeah.
school that go back to the fucking 50s, and then they have to be like, I mean, we don't really care that much about sports.
Oh, it says total there are 10 elementary schools in our Indiana town. Since we're a private school, we're roughly a quarter the size of everyone, putting us at a numbers disadvantage.
We only get the rich white kids, so we don't play basketball that well.
The first year
But
he
we're
was
good
there,
at golf and polo.
First year he was there, they were 2-7. He laid the groundwork for success. He says.
Oh, they
And-
recruited TT?
Yeah. And the next year they went 7-3, having the eventual city champions on the ropes in the playoffs.
What?
Yeah, they end up losing by 10.
Such success he has found.
Just wait though, there's more.
What?
This year,
Allegations?
so 2018.
Oh no.
They finished the regular season 9-0 and had the number 1 ranked defense. Way to go, Colin.
Oh,
Was
but
that
then
the good
COVID
news?
fucked them.
Yeah.
goddamn
No, that
COVID.
wasn't this year. That was
Oh shit! Sorry,
2018.
sorry. I got. Oh, sorry. Sorry, guys.
So outside
My
of
bad.
that, he runs
It's
a
fine.
adult
We'll edit it
men's
out.
basketball league
Yeah.
featuring former college and high school players from the area. Oh, I thought you said I've also been married 5 times. I've also been married 5 years.
5 times.
And I have 2 daughters, Chloe and Cora.
Okay.
And so Jake says, I most recently started working for Amazon in the Seattle area. I got married and my wife and I are expecting our first child in late September. He didn't have as much of a story.
Wait, is that the whole story?
That's
That's his
No,
interview.
he certainly did not have as much of a story. What?
So then it asks them, like, are there any moments in the film that feel fake to you? And Colin says there are definitely altered moments, like conversations in cars that start at one end of the town. The next second, they're at the other end of town.
So just edit it all together.
So it's, edited and...
See, that's interesting. If you know the background, you're
Yeah.
like, wait, what? Like, there's no way they did that.
He says, some of my basketball moments were also taken out of context. I'll just leave it at that.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
They didn't actually win?
I don't know.
They edit the shot of it going in?
The film crew couldn't be at multiple places at once. Things happened that they missed. Naturally, they had to use editing to recreate a few things.
Dude, they had $5 million. Don't you think you could have a couple of crews to follow these 5 kids around?
That's
or
right.
just give them a camera, like a camera, a lighting guy, and an audio guy?
So Jake's answer for this one's pretty good. Nothing feels fake to me, but I do cringe throughout most of my screen time. So did we, Jake.
What?
So did we. I imagine how the future will be with more and more of our individual lives being documented and archived. Who knows? My kid might end up being able to watch each year of his schooling condensed into a mini-series.
Yeah, they're going to be like, Dad, when you were in high school, you were a dickhead.
I'm way cooler than you now, Dad.
Yeah. And I'm 8.
So, in 2016, so they graduated in 2006.
Okay.
So 2016 was their 10-year high school reunion. Colin went.
It's crazy that they do that.
They
too. Like,
had
they
one?
don't really do that in Canada, right?
Not-
10
no,
years.
Yeah, like I got an invitation to one, but like,
Oh, really?
they're doing a special one because the high school I went to was turning 50.
Oh, that makes more sense.
On my, so it wasn't just my
Yeah,
graduating
it was
class. It was
everybody?
like everybody in the last 50 years.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
That's kind of interesting.
I didn't go.
Okay.
But yeah, so Colin says he did. He helped plan it.
What was it? Oriental themed or Jungle Love?
So Mitch was the only cast member to attend other than Colin, I assume.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, because he still lives in Warsaw.
Why didn't Hannah go? I thought everyone loved her.
And
She's
Jake
way too busy
says
taking
She could have took pictures. She could have been the
Rivers
photographer.
and trees.
Jake says
In
he didn't
Minnesota.
go. But if he remembers correctly, it was held at a local restaurant. I don't think nearly 500 of us could fit in there anyways.
But then, were you assuming that if you would have went, 500 other people would have went? Like, why
Yeah.
did you? Like, well, I didn't go because 500 people couldn't fit.
Yeah, totally.
So
That's my crew. Me and 500 deep.
I am the 500 person.
the next question is, has being in the documentary affected your life in any way? Colin says it has helped him shine in job interviews because it made me stand out from others.
Ooh.
Having companies like Paramount and the LA Dodgers on your resume.
What?
Yeah, apparently.
He
That's
worked
a
for the
stretch.
worked for the Dodgers.
I worked for Paramount. No, I went to high school and they fucking followed me around.
Also, it is
They did
wi-
the distribution.
it is
They
widely
did do the distribution.
yeah. It is widely known in the area. I'm called Hollywood and superstar, things like that.
Cool.
It's
Widely
fun-
known in
yeah.
Warsaw.
It's
I don't want to say, but I'm just gonna say I fuck.
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
So now the kids at the school where he teaches have seen it and they like to make fun of me. So it's been fun.
I want to see him now. If he's
Oh,
like
yeah.
a fat basketball coach, bald and just like a piece of shit. You're like, fuck yeah, dude.
Wears rhinestone leather jacket.
Yeah, he's got like one tooth and like your nickname's Hollywood. Like, come on.
He really is planning on fitting into that.
Yeah, his,
Yeah.
his dad
Elvis
died,
suit.
but he's not going to be Elvis. But he's going to honor him by wearing the jacket when he coaches.
So Jake says, I think everything we experience shapes our lives in some way. In this case, I think every girl I dated after high school was because of this film.
Oh,
They saw 05, 06 Jake and wanted to see what I was like after.
Oh, damn!
I mean,
This kid's
we're
a pimp.
interested. So
This kid's a pimp.
that makes sense.
They saw the 05, 06 model. Now I rock that 08 model.
Yeah.
And bitches don't know what to do. started doing steroids.
Yeah, at the end of the dog is that
Mr. Muscle.
Yeah, I think those were like
Oh, yeah.
typed up by themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he said he became part Mr. Muscle, part Wild Man.
Wild
but
man.
still a shy guy.
Man, I fucking huff air, man. Doesn't even do cool drugs. Like, does the dumbest shit.
So the last question was, if you could go back to 2006 and talk to your younger self, what would you tell him? So Colin says, I'd tell him to enjoy the little things, to take more time to have fun, like there's no tomorrow. Like there's not tomorrow, not no tomorrow.
Like, there's not tomorrow. Does that
I
mean
would-
he's gonna die?
I would tell him to let loose in front of the camera more, even though I was still fun. I held back my personality out of fear of what others may think. Clearly because I'm the only cast member not involved in any kind of bad activity. LOL.
Wait, what? What did Hannah's bad activity?
She was at the party, remember? When
Underage drinking.
Yeah.
Taps
yeah.
you means.
yeah.
Maybe. He's kind of thrown everyone under the
Yeah.
bus.
I'd tell him to enjoy the lack of responsibility because being a grown up sucks a lot of the time. And I would tell him
Wow.
that having Elvis as a dad is pretty sweet and not to be embarrassed about it.
Nah, I don't know. Let's maybe disagree with that. You just told yourself that so you could justify it in your 35-year-old brain that your dad's fucked.
So Jake has a little bit more somber message to himself.
Fucking hate everyone.
I suppose I would let myself know that college isn't the only thing to do after high school. I wasted a ton of money going that route.
Oh, Jesus.
Also worrying about what other people think is a ridiculous thing to do all the time. It's difficult to ignore. That's just part of people being people, but you can't please everybody. It's the best to focus on the people you care about most.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So yeah, that is where our American Teen cast members are at.
Crazy.
Man, oh man. I cannot imagine.
Let's do Afghani teen. That might be a more heartbreaking one. That could be crazy.
I would, as much as we say this sucked, and it did.
It has potential. Like, the idea is neat.
Yeah, I get if the kids they showcase weren't so shitty, I think it would be.
But that makes it. That's a good element, though. Like,
that makes it comical.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that gives us like
Yeah.
humor value.
yeah.
But like I don't know, like
I would-
like you said, I would have much rather them go to like an inner city school and
Yeah.
see like
Yeah, like that one doc that we have, I Am a Promise.
Yes.
It's like they're like kids in like elementary school, but those
Yeah.
kids are like, I don't know what a hot meal is.
yeah.
And then the teachers are like we said before we started recording about in the States, how like 1 in 3 minorities are incarcerated. So
Yeah.
those teachers are like, these kids are going to be in jail. And like,
Yeah.
I just try my best to not get them to go to jail.
Right.
And like, fuck these Indiana kids.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Um
But yeah, it
but
had potential.
but I would definitely watch like if they did like a 20-year anniversary.
Yo, absolutely.
So like
Yeah.
it came out in 2008. So 2018 would be 10 years. I would love to see like 2028, like a 20-year.
I don't think that's going to happen because they lost $4 million on this. So
That's right.
They probably buried this motherfucker. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Jesus.
But I wonder if like the production crew was like, we're just going to like film these kids and it'll be like Green Acres type shit, like just good old American fucking Ron Howard type
Yeah.
city, and everyone's going to be cool. Will be awesome. And then they get this footage and they're like, man, these kids are fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Like, what do we...
Like
But I guess I don't know. It probably wasn't like that because if they were pushing them
to
to do
these
certain things, then it was like, we're going to
But like
do this.
so I want to know like because in the
They had to
document,
sign off on a lot of shit.
yeah, in the documentary that Megan girl who spray paints the dick on the kid's window and,
Yeah. And says what? What's she
writes
say?
fag.
Yeah, there you go.
Like so she gets brought into the principal's
Oh,
office.
yeah, this is
and, like,
great.
they
This
talk
is
to her.
so great.
Like talk about white privilege. Like
Oh,
this is full
man.
blown fucking white
Yeah,
privilege.
yeah.
So they're talking to her, and she's like, "Well, you know, this is a serious offense. It could be considered sexual harassment."
It's like a class 3 felony.
But
Yeah.
what race was her principal?
White,
And a lady
yeah.
telling another white lady.
And she's like, "Yeah, could be considered a class 3 felony. You could be in a lot of trouble, but you know, you don't have any other records, so Yeah, we're gonna let it go. You're suspended from your prom committee office
Yeah, and she's
or
like,
student council office.
oh my god,
Yeah.
oh god.
I don't know why they're being so unfair to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She literally fucking said that. Yeah. I don't know why they're being
Fuck,
so unfair
man.
and punishing me this hard.
Dude, I'd like to think that like if she has kids and then her kids see this and they're like, wow, mom, you were a bitch.
Yeah.
Like you clearly did something wrong. Especially if it's in a situation where like she tries to like discipline her children
Yeah.
and like teaching them right and wrong. And then
Yeah.
they're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
her friend Jeff is like, I'm going to tell him you did. And she's like,
Yeah.
no, you better not. And
Yeah.
like she gets all fucking pissed.
Fucking hate
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And then her dad, when her dad's like,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what, like, I don't really give a shit that you did it. It's just kind of crazy you got caught.
Yeah. Yeah. So literally, like, it's a phone call with her dad. And her dad's like, this is a really bad thing.
Yeah.
But it's even more bad that you did it and got caught.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck kind of mentality is that? What are
Yeah.
you teaching this kid? That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This movie reminds me. There we go. It's a movie.
Yeah.
This is like a documentary done by whoever produced Jersey Shore. It technically is real life,
Kind of
Yeah.
get what
but
you're saying. Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
also
Yeah.
dramatized in
Yeah.
all the right ways,
Right.
And it's edited
Yeah.
to shit. Like they cut this thing up massively, apparently,
Mm-hmm.
due to like direct subject interviews. So like this is like Big Brother.
Oh, I guess there is.
Documentary. It's almost like I don't want to say mockumentary and I don't want to say movie.
But the mockumentary part makes like the
It's-
comedic part because that's the part where like there's no fucking way.
Yeah.
Because like that J kid, there's some shit like how many sound bites where we're
Oh.
like, there's no way he just said that.
Yeah.
Like the one chick when she shows up at his house and he's like, I showered today. I'm like, what? That's the first thing you say?
Yeah.
Like, damn.
So yeah, who knows if he was really as creepy as he came off in the doc? Like
Yeah.
they literally.
If he works for Amazon, he's not a dumb dude.
Yeah.
And in the doc, he seems like he's not really all
I
there.
mean, he works for Amazon. He could literally work in a warehouse.
Yeah.
No, man. Come on, bro.
Is
He's
Amazon?
He's Jeff's second man, okay?
Is Amazon headquartered in Seattle?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. So
He's
he
Jeff's
works-
personal butler
Yeah.
and just says that he works for Amazon. I work for Jeffrey.
But yeah, like they do him dirty with some like really
Ah,
weird sound
fuck,
clips. Like
man.
Yeah.
this girl he's dating is breaking up with him, and
Yeah.
he lays his face down on the table. Like they're in like a food court somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Lays
a
his
pizza
face down
shop
on
or
the
something.
table, lifts his head up. He goes, "Oh, this table's really greasy." After I put my face on it.
And she looks at him like, I want to fucking stab your eyes out.
Yeah.
Like, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
And then that, like, his questionably cousin from Chicago,
Yeah.
the chick that he met at his brother's wedding, and then
Yeah.
he's just saying dumb shit, and
So-
she's just like, meh.
I didn't
Ah.
put two and two together when we were watching the doc. I assume it's the same brother that took him out to the strip club.
I think
I would
so.
say so.
Just like
Yeah.
mad partying, and the guy has a wife at home. Unless they're, I mean,
He just
divorced
got
or-
like a bunch of brothers that he doesn't know about. Or like, yeah, my brother got married 6 months ago and just got divorced.
Yeah.
It's like, damn.
That's why we're at this strip club.
Indiana,
Yeah.
they go hard. They also like grow up crazy fast. Like just it's like out of high school and then like, all right, so you're gonna do this or this or this.
Yeah.
And then like, holy fuck.
That's something that I had read in Marshall McLuhan's book, "The Medium is the Massage." It's super early on. It's like within the first part of that book, if you can
Okay.
even call them parts. But
Yeah.
he basically outlines the way a kid has to live and grow up now, and their task is to grow up free, and that's a bit of a new device for kids. Like ever since the 18th century, maybe late 17th, that has been more or less what kids are intended to do. But that's obviously only 200 or 300 years of practice. And now with this massive shift in culture and just the way a life can function, or life as we know it functions with technology alongside, like electronic technology, even things deeper, I guess, like printing presses and cars, but like the way kids have to grow up now is just like that. Like
Yeah.
your job is to grow up as a kid
Right.
and just be the most kid you can be, and then as soon as it's time to be an adult, you better be ready. But they don't train you for that.
Yeah, like
you
I've
have
been
no skills whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's-
There's another cool doc that I don't think we have it on the list, called Teenage. And
I
it's
don't
about
remember
like
that name.
like the idea of like teenagers, and it was in like the early 1900s. So how like free thinking, like you weren't like you're 17 or you're, because I guess people didn't live that long. So like you're 17 and like you got to go get a job, or like, but I just want to be 17 and like hang out with my friends. And then like that first rich group of people that were just like, I'm just gonna I'm a Roosevelt, like I can just hang out on this rowboat all day.
Yeah.
And people were like, wow, that's fucking crazy. They're like 20, just doing whatever they want. So it's a cool doc. We'll definitely have to watch it.
Yeah.
And that became like the goal of the zeitgeist of the
Yeah.
nation, is to just try to somehow capture that small sliver of paradise.
Oh yeah,
for
it's just
themselves.
like, it's crazy because like the American dream is like 4 years is the best time you will ever have. Like you have no responsibilities. You just go hang out with your friends. And then your life after that is hell.
you better be ready to throw it all
Every
away.
fucking day, you are just going to want to like just fucking say fuck it all.
I don't think life was
So
like that
enjoy
at
the-
all in Canada.
Enjoy that 4 years. You're like, holy
Like
Jesus.
we just don't have the pressure that Americans do.
It's just because the people, man, and like the pressure of like we all like winning, and you always have to win, and like it's the whole thing with
Well-
the elementary school having sports records from the 50s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
are you fucked?
Well, like so when we're commenting during the One Kids, so each character had kind of like a little animated scene when they were kind of telling them about themselves.
Yeah.
And the one kid, he's the basketball player.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's my dream to go play NCAA. Like, seriously, your dream is like, hey, playing NCAA sports is a great achievement,
Yeah, but
but why is that your dream? Like,
Yeah.
you're just going to go play college sports and not make any money. Like,
yeah, like he was like,
they're the
oh,
most exploited athletes in the history of sport.
he's like, I my dream is to play NCAA, and then like, I guess I'll play for the Pacers.
Yeah, he
like
said-
you're
yeah.
like, I guess I'll do something that I'll get paid to do.
Yeah.
Like, are you Be like, man, maybe I'll go to college and then like I want to play for the Pacers. Like growing up in Indiana, being a professional basketball player for that team, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Not like I'm gonna go and make this school a shitload of money and they're not gonna give me anything.
Yeah.
Like
But
what?
Yeah,
the
just
fuck?
like when it was talking about his dream, it's like, dude, strive for more.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
So I have to say, my favorite character in the whole movie, though, is Hannah's mom.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Was not there.
Hannah describes
life.
her mom as a extremely manic depressive.
Yeah. Who like couldn't take care of
Yeah,
her.
her dad moved away. I think she must live with, like, there was always two older women with her.
Yeah.
So I don't know if her.
Her aunt and her aunt's roommate, okay?
Yeah,
Don't ask questions, okay? It's Indiana.
Giselle.
It's Indiana.
But
It's her roommate.
So yeah, so like I didn't have much of a relationship with her mom, but then like later on when she's kind of like tossing up like where she wants to go to college, like
Yeah.
what to do, and she's like, Hannah, you know that a single white female living alone in California is a target.
That's what I do on
Yeah.
my hobbies.
That's
what?
my hobby. I read that stuff. I was like, oh, your hobby is reading about rape.
I guarantee you, if you are like manic depressant, your doctor is like, hey, for sure don't read about this super depressing shit.
Yeah,
Like, just have happy news in your life, not all this fucked up shit.
I guess she's just into like true crime.
Holy fuck,
But
man.
Yeah, I don't even
That's
know.
another thing that's weird, that you're like, why are you so into this?
Yeah,
And like, why are you like
And her-
shaming your daughter ahead of time?
and her eyes
Yeah.
were like bugged out. Like,
Yeah.
this is my hobby.
I'm
Like,
on the best Adderall.
I read a lot about this. Like, oh, you read a lot about white girls living alone getting raped. That's
What? That is the
I've
It
read
just
Lord of
seemed
the
really
Rings
weird.
4 or 5 times, but like,
Yeah, you're not fucking the crazy monster thing that goes crazy
Yeah.
for the ring.
I'm not an elf. Like, I don't pretend to be a hobbit.
That'd be sick. Like, you have to address me as 3 feet tall. Like,
Just
okay.
because you read something doesn't make it true, and it certainly does not mean you should believe
Yeah.
it.
That would have been great if she's like, I read Esquire today. Those are all true. Like, holy fuck. But yeah, I'm like, a lot of these kids, like, their parents seem so mentally fucked.
Yeah.
That you're like, that's where you're getting your moral advice from? Like,
Right.
holy shit.
And they listen so intently.
Because that's all they know, man. Like, that's all they know. Like, there is like Hitler Youth that were like, yeah, this is cool. Let's do this. And then
Yeah.
years later, we're like, oh, wait, that was fucked up.
like I don't claim to
We-
be a child psychologist or know like the
Really? I thought you were.
yeah, the teen psyche or anything like that, but like just from my experience, like growing up, like none of my friends like were like this. Like their parents, like, and I guess it happens. Obviously, it has to. But like, yeah, I don't know. I guess I was just really fortunate because
I grew up in the country, man. I grew up with some crazy motherfuckers. Their kids or their parents were definitely pretty weird, but not like this weird. But
I had friends with weird parents for sure. But it's not like, you need to go to Notre Dame because I went to Notre Dame. Your mother went to Notre Dame. Your two brothers went to Notre Dame. Your sister didn't. She killed herself, but you got to go.
She's a failure.
How are you doing with that?
And like you're sitting there playing fucking PlayStation with your buddy, and your buddy's like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah. And like,
nothing that intense.
Yeah, like you would think. So like, this is something that just came to me. I didn't think of while watching the documentary. So like, the documentary crew's following your kid around. People with cameras, like obviously the parents know they're probably it's legit, but they're following your kids around. They're having a party, like tons of underage drinking, which I guess the parents must have been cool with because
they never show the parents at all.
Yeah, do you
or really like
do you
where,
just
where
let
are they?
This film crew like be alone with your kids when they're like?
So this is the spin the bottle part. Like whose house was that at?
Yeah,
or like okay, film crew, you guys got to go now.
Yeah, like it just that's the part
pretty
that just
weird.
came to me. I'm just like,
maybe that's what they
the
spent the $5 million on. They just built a house.
Yeah,
and made it look like these kids were in the house and they did all the weird shit in that house.
Yeah, well, because so the Wikipedia when I went to Nanette Burstein's, it said she lived in Warsaw for 10 months while they filmed it.
Bro, we just figured it out.
Did she invite them all over to her house?
Yeah,
like
she's like the cool older lady. Come and drink it.
That part just
come and drink
with
at
my head.
Nanette's house.
This is making me think more and more that this was actually some kind of real life movie.
Yeah.
Was this
project.
like real life Truman Show? Like, did we just accidentally stumble on some crazy shit?
This was all scripted.
Whoa.
She devised everything. She enrolled them in school when they were kids.
Yeah.
These are all her children.
She cut their hair, in fact.
What was I gonna say?
Oh, speaking of cutting the hair, the one part when Jake was getting his hair cut by his girlfriend's mom.
Oh yeah.
And then they're like, "Do you think they'll like his hair?" And like, no one knows him. Like, oh my god, like
that girl was
say that.
vicious.
it's true.
Like she was probably the most vicious. Like
No, dude, she had balls, bro. There was video evidence of her getting freaky with another dude, and she played it stone faced like a motherfucker. Like, Jake, I don't know what you're talking about. The only thing you can get me on is for talking to this other young man.
Yeah.
And like, how did the producers, the cameraman, not like, hey, baby, check out this footage real quick, Jake?
Yeah.
Roll back to the time code to like 3 minutes. You'll see what we're talking about.
Yeah. So this girl, Jake, I guess she just moved to town. Jake asks her out, and she says, "Yeah." They start dating, and then like there's a scene where her mom's cutting his hair.
Yeah.
And like they're literally like, I thought it was Jake's mom at first because hopefully she doesn't read this text message I send her. And she's like, no, or Jake was like, no, she doesn't let me read any text messages.
Yeah.
Well, we know why.
Yeah.
And
sending them pics out.
yeah, and then like she's like bad mouthing Jake to her mom.
And he's
like,
in that house.
in the house, who just got a haircut from her mom.
Yeah. Like, listen, mom, he's a little bitch, but I just moved here.
She said he's boring. Like nobody notices him.
Yeah, and then he strolls out, and she asks, like, "Oh, like, do you think they're gonna make fun of you because your hair's pretty short?" He's like, "Oh, no one notices me."
Yeah.
And she just quietly loses it. She's like, "Oh my god, you're right, kid."
Yeah.
I'm thinking about killing myself tomorrow. I don't think anyone will give a shit. And they're like, yeah, you're probably right.
Did you say something?
And literally 30 seconds later in the movie, it shows her like swimming with this other guy in the band and like making out with him in the pool and underwater.
Yeah. So like that is another scene where I'm like, there's no way. That looks like The Bachelorette. Like, this is
yeah.
Oh,
Like, all right, dip down and spin in the water, kids.
And if that part was scripted, how fucked is it that these
they're directing children to do sex scenes.
Yeah, that these adult filmmakers are like, we need you guys to jump in the pool, make out a bit, go underwater.
Don't you want to kiss him?
Yeah.
Hey, Greg, if you grab her titty, you're for sure in the movie, bro. Oh shit!
But they were doing the reverse. Like, if you don't grab that titty, if you don't ask her,
yeah.
I mean, maybe not like grab a titty thing, but like, because that's pretty fucking offensive. But
This doc would have been great too if there was just an openly, so flamboyantly gay dude
Yeah.
who was like, my life is a living hell here, but I've chosen to just mentally fuck with these people every day. I'm like, oh my God, I love this
So-
kid.
Like, I wonder how like this documentary would be perceived if it came out now.
No.
Like, again,
People would
completely
hate it.
whitewashed.
They'd probably
Like,
lose 5 million of the 5 million.
completely whitewashed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that could be like against the Me Too movement.
Yeah, a lot of sexual stuff. All the dudes in it pretty much just run through girls.
Yeah.
So you're like, damn. And then like the whole spray painting thing of,
Yeah.
holy shit.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the more you like you sit and like try and like dissect this doc, you're just like, fuck, man.
That's what I'm thinking, man. They
It's
either
really
like
weird.
they either set this whole thing up or filmed it, and then we're like, oh fuck, these kids are
So-
fucked.
That was like there was like a mockumentary, American Vandal.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
This is
Yeah,
that.
so, like,
Yeah.
when I first
100%.
when
yeah.
I first started watching American Vandal,
Yep.
like I didn't read anything about it.
Yep.
I was like, oh, okay, it's a documentary.
Oh, that's great then. That's so
I
great.
started watching. I was like, there's no fucking way this is real. So then I looked it up. I was like, oh, it's a
Yeah,
mockumentary,
dude.
Like, I feel like this is just a mockumentary that got away with being a mockumentary,
Yeah.
and nobody found out.
Yeah.
Oh shit, we may have just broken our format.
Yeah.
We just watched our first movie.
Or like the director's like, fuck, don't fucking tell anyone.
Well,
Like,
and like consider, like when we were looking it up last week, we noticed that like one of the movie posters is like a ripoff of the Breakfast Club poster, right?
Right.
yeah. Well, on here it says in one of these reviews, I mean, that doesn't mean shit, but it may be even better than the Breakfast Club.
What?
There's no way. Like, have
I
you
mean-
seen the Breakfast Club?
Yeah, I mean, I laughed out loud
Yeah.
at this. Like, I
Oh,
was.
I laughed
shocked
out
at
loud in
some
the
points,
Breakfast Club
but-
too. Like, there's some
True.
there's some
Yeah.
cool shit in there.
It-
They smoke weed. They don't smoke weed in this goddamn movie.
Yeah, true. Fucking
Stupid
squares.
punk ass Indiana kids.
Yeah, it's just like I don't even know.
It just really furthers the point that like Indiana seems depressing, man. Like
And America
almost-
seems fake.
I almost just want to go to just be like, is it?
I
this
have driven
crazy?
through Indiana.
Cool.
How do you know?
That I drove through Indiana.
Yeah.
You get to a
Doesn't it wipe
state
your
line.
memory as
Yeah.
you drive by like
Yeah.
a fucking shitty piece of toilet paper?
I stopped at a Denny's in Gary, Indiana.
And Gary.
Gary.
Cool.
With 2 R's or one?
1 hour.
Did you meet a guy named
course.
Gary in Gary?
Yeah, it's right outside of Chicago.
Ah,
Yeah.
Chicano.
I'll have to put that
think-
on my list of places.
Nah.
Not to visit.
Just
Ga-
a list of places.
Gary? Gary?
Yeah, but it exists. I know someone that's been there now. So.
Yeah,
Cool.
I
Yeah.
can confirm it does exist.
All right. I didn't say it
Wow.
didn't. But
What's that one state that never existed? Or maybe it doesn't exist
what the fuck are you talking about?
anymore? I don't know. Wyoming.
I have driven through Wyoming.
Wyoming's still
What?
a,
Yes.
Wyoming's still a
Oh.
state.
I
You
went
sure?
through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I went through 11 states last year.
Why?
Yeah, I drove out to
What?
BC and back.
And you took the states road?
It's slower.
It was
or
phenomenal.
It's
Oh, really? Okay.
it's quicker, isn't it?
Like
Yeah,
scenery wise, or
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
You
like,
might
so-
hate the country, but there's some cool shit there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I crossed.
I ain't got nothing against trees.
I crossed in.
Windsor.
No, Sault Ste. Marie.
Oh, okay. Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario to Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan.
Maybe.
what?
No,
That's
maybe
what
it
it
wasn't
is.
Sault Ste. Marie. Sarnia. Sorry, I crossed
Okay.
to Sarnia.
No.
Yeah, I crossed to Sarnia, Ontario. I forget what the other side of.
I don't know what it is.
But we stopped at our first stop was Grand Rapids, Michigan. So we went Michigan. On the way out, we went Michigan, North Dakota, I think, and then we went up into Canada. No, okay, I got it now. We went Grand Rapids, Michigan, to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, to North Dakota, up into Canada. I visited some friends in Regina, Calgary, BC, and then Washington State, and all the way back. Saw Mount Rushmore,
Cool.
yeah, which was very interesting.
That's pretty cool.
I think that kind of experience would cure a lot of the bad behavior, or
Yeah.
bad behavior, a lot of the shitty behavior. Shitty behavior. These kids are piss poor.
Yeah, but like
I think that would change them.
the percentage of Americans that haven't left their state is like so insanely high.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. You're
And I
like,
bet
you
you a
guys
lot
got
of
so
states
much
are like
cool
this.
shit here. All you gotta do is just drive around. But
Yeah.
you're like, I'm not fucking.
Oh,
I'm not leaving Indiana.
It was a beautiful drive. Like
Yeah.
like if
Even when we went to New Orleans, like there was parts where like this is fucking cool, and then there'd be like going to a store and the person's like, I've never left this 10-mile radius, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. The States is a very beautiful, very flawed country.
Yeah, it's like a sick painting, and then you look behind it, and that's where all the garbage is, and you're like, fuck, I didn't need
Seriously.
to see that.
Yeah,
but
we were going to
this
go to
painting's tight.
Yellowstone National Park.
Yeah.
But we decided Mount Rushmore instead. But
yeah,
like, so now Yellowstone is in Wyoming. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
cool. But yeah, it just like it almost was like, I don't want to believe that Indiana is this shitty, but it might be. Like, look, we need
Yeah.
to go check it out because it's just like, man. And their school, like you guys both said, the school looks like a prison.
Yeah. Yeah. The
So,
school's
like-
totally-
Shocking.
And the 1 in 3 statistic is real weird because like, are you just like mentally getting them prepared to be in prison?
yeah.
like-
So 1 in 3.
Yeah, 1 in 3 black kids. But I was just
Yeah.
saying, like, if you're a black kid at that school,
Oh, yeah.
of like the
Well,
first
we
time,
only saw one through the whole movie.
yeah,
That was a big school too.
he was a football player, right?
Yeah.
No, he played basketball.
Basketball.
Yeah.
Oh, they love basketball.
It's
in
funny that
Indiana.
like their basketball team was like the star program of the school. You could argue that they weren't that great.
No.
So like, how shitty was their football team?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. No. So. That's American Teen. Fuck it. Whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's
I think
something.
it's a documentary.
It's a great hate watch, or it's like a Grizzly
Yeah.
Man watch where you're like, this is not a comedy, but it's a great comedy.
Yeah, if you want to laugh and you want to just kind of, like Mitch said, it's a hate watch.
Yeah.
If you need to kill an hour and 40 minutes.
Or like think you kind of had a tough time in high school,
Yeah.
just be like, just watch this, and
Yeah.
be like, at least I wasn't doing borderline felonies.
Yeah. So the 1 in 3 stat that Mitch keeps bringing up is I watched a documentary today by Ava DuVernay. I probably butchered her last name, so I apologize. She was the director of Selma. She did a documentary in 2018 called The 13th. Basically, it's about the 13th Amendment. Essentially, there's the Emancipation Proclamation that freed the slaves. And then the 13th Amendment was saying, yeah, so slaves are free unless, that you can't enslave anybody unless they've committed a crime. So basically, they just started arresting black people for
Yeah.
anything, jaywalking, vagrancy, like anything, just to, because the way they talked in the document, like the Southern economy was
Yeah.
crashing because it was based
Yeah.
on slavery, right?
Yeah, man.
So they needed black slaves to help build the economy back
Yeah.
up.
And they definitely invented crimes
Oh,
so
yeah.
that they could incarcerate more people. Because
Oh.
I bet you a white person going to typically a black populated
They could do whatever the fuck they
swimming
wanted.
place. Yeah, they would never go. Out
Do
of social
whatever the
reasons,
fuck they wanted.
But they would never get arrested if they went.
No.
No.
The reverse is absolutely
So-
true.
You could
They-
just be like a group of shit of like, let's just go fuck with these people, and they're not gonna like. A little kid could look at us wrong, and then we'll just kill that kid. Like, fuck it.
They talked
Oh,
a lot
holy
about
shit.
the movie The Birth of a Nation.
Hey man, D.W. Griffith wasn't that racist.
Yeah. So
Ah,
basically,
he was
paints
super racist.
paints the KKK as the heroes.
Yep.
Every time it showed a black person on screen, which
Yep.
was basically a white guy in
Yep.
blackface.
It was, and I think there are black people in it, but they were like extras, and they were like really far away, like you can't see them.
Yeah, so every time it shows a quote unquote black person,
Yeah.
they're either trying to rape a white woman.
Yeah. That's what the movie's about.
Yeah. In one scene, when he's about to rape her, she says, "No, I'm not going to let this happen." She jumps off a cliff and kills herself.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, it's horrible.
But what's crazy about this movie was like this D.W. Griffith, the director, did techniques that were like so pioneered at the time that this movie is still showing in like film study schools because they're like,
Wow.
this movie's racist as shit,
Yeah.
but like the technique is really cool.
So fun fact, apparently the KKK did not burn crosses until this movie came out, and he thought, "Hey, that's a pretty cool visual of them burning a cross," and they adopted it from that.
Shit.
That's
I always thought that was a little bit backwards,
Yeah.
but
It
they're pretty backwards people.
It comes from a movie, so
which is crazy because like
so
that's
is the rest
just
of America.
Yeah.
so like something visual.
Yeah.
And they're like, that we're doing that now.
yeah,
That looks cool.
yeah.
Man, imagine being a black dude in a movie theater watching Birth of a Nation. Like
Yeah.
If you didn't know what it was, and then they're like, whoa, oh,
And-
How did I get in this movie theater?
oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every black person it shows there is like meant to look like a savage.
Yeah, it's fucked,
they,
man.
They
They
portray
have
them
like
as
white around their eyes and
Yeah.
like they're always crazy.
They portray them as cannibals. Like the one time, like
Yeah.
showed one scene where he's like just eating like meat off a bone.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
yeah.
not a big deal at all.
That's like the one thing we were talking about with the chicken and like how it's like the racial thing of like chicken and watermelon. We're like, that's delicious. Like, how did that get turned negatively?
Yeah.
It's like, you like something delicious. Fuck you. And they're
Yeah,
like,
what an idiot.
What?
This
Yeah.
guy loves fried chicken.
Yeah. Have you had it before?
What's he thinking?
But yeah. So like the rest of the documentary, like just kind of outlines like, sure, slavery ended, but not really.
No.
They just changed it.
Yeah.
So like,
2.0.
yeah. So like, first it was the 13th Amendment. They just started like arresting every black person that they saw.
Well, and then the thing too with Lincoln, like the 40 acres and a mule, what Spike Lee's production company's
Yeah.
name, that's reference to Lincoln was like, all right, we're gonna emancipate, like the Emancipation Proclamation, and every black person is gonna get 40 acres and a mule. He was murdered, and then the president that came in after him, I forget who it was like, you guys are still free, but you don't get the 40 acres and a mule.
Yeah.
Figure it out yourself.
yeah.
So like they were promised stuff, and then like, actually no, we're taking this back.
Right.
And
And
like,
so
holy fuck.
So they allowed them to free, and then the 13th Amendment came out, and then it was Jim Crow law, and then
Yeah, I gotta watch this. This doc sounds crazy.
Yeah, it's good, especially for the times we're in right now. Like it's super relevant.
We always gotta remind ourselves that white people fucked up.
Yeah, yeah,
That's our culture now. We're developing a culture of our own now.
Yeah.
and so yeah. Then it was Jim Crow, and then it was like the Civil Rights Movement. Black people got the right to vote, but like there was so much shit that like just stopped them from like
Well, like any movement, like the Black Panther Party or any like political party, the government would be like, we got to undermine these people and get them in there and be like, yo, you guys are Black Panther members? Like, you want a gun, right? Here, have a gun. And then they're like, these guys have guns. And then the FBI comes in because that's why they have reasonable cause, because they have guns. And they're like, who gave us the guns? They're like, oh, that federal agent over there.
Yeah.
They're like, what the? How is that not entrapment?
Herbert Hoover, or not Herbert Hoover, J. Edgar Hoover.
Who wore a dress, which is so awesome.
He
That sounds like his knightly name.
Oh.
J. Edgar Hoover, who wore a dress.
like he was the leader of the FBI. Like when we spoke to Mary Liuzzo,
Yep.
basically that was the same time frame when her
Wait,
mother was
Hoover
killed.
didn't like black people?
Yeah.
What?
So he basically like the Black Liberation Army and the Black Panthers. He basically designated them terrorist groups.
Yeah.
Yet the KKK was never.
No, I don't think
designated.
they still are.
No. And so, anyways,
Which that's crazy.
the head of the Black Panthers was in his house, in his bed beside his pregnant wife, and federal agents booted down his door and just opened fire and killed him in his bed.
Yeah. Dude, the Malcolm X documentary, before he was killed, there was a thing where his house was firebombed, and the official release of the police was, we think he did it himself to get publicity.
Yeah.
And his wife is in a press release like, do you think this fucking guy would do this when me and my 3 daughters are in his house?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
That's what makes it crazy.
Those white dudes that have, like, to have the balls to be like, maybe, like, they're reading a press release and, like, how are you not like, oh, we're so lying?
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
And so, yeah, then it goes on to talk about, like, just mass incarceration. And so, again,
Fuck.
the stat that Mitch brought up a few times is the 1 in 3. So, for white males, the rate of incarceration is like 1 in 17.
Is that, like, from, like a certain age or, like, your whole life?
Your whole life.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, 1 in 17 white male Americans will spend some time
Sometime
in
incarcerated.
prison.
Yes.
For black men, it's 1 in 3. Like, that's a fucking staggering stat.
Dude, imagine sitting in a classroom, like a grade 9 classroom, and you're being taught that, and you're just like, jail. Like,
Yeah.
whoa, man, half of my friends just went to jail.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
So, another kind of like stunning revelation that I didn't know about is there's a group in the States called ALEC. So, it's like the American Legislative something.
They sound
committee.
cool.
So, basically, it's a group of Republican swayed.
Again, they sound
people,
cool. I like where this is going.
Politicians and corporations.
Oh, awesome.
So there's a lot of like big corporations. A company called CCA, which is I'm gonna forget the first word.
Christian Crusaders
No.
against.
Basically, it's a company that owns prisons.
Oh yeah, man. There's some famous dude. Fuck. No, man. It was like Ed McMahon. Or no. Fuck. I don't know. I'm gonna fuck this story up.
Yeah.
But there's some famous dude. Oh no. Who did Wheel of Fortune? Not Wheel of Fortune. Who's the spade and neuter guy?
Bob Barker.
Bob Barker. Him and his wife were invested in like a clothing company that supplies prisons.
Oh, yeah.
And it says like Bob Barker on the shoes, and this comedian that was incarcerated was jokingly got out and was like, "Can I take these shoes? Because I want these. Like these are sweet." And there's like a huge thing of like, you cannot take anything out of here. And he's like, "Yeah, Bob Barker and his wife own this company."
Yeah.
So they're like, "What? Like spay and neuter your animals and make sure your criminals got good shoes."
So
Yeah, the
basically-
fact that the prison system is privatized is fucking crazy.
So this ALEC group, essentially, they write legislation. So
Isn't that the government's job?
yeah, so that's the fucked up part. So they'll write. So they have a bill that they want. So the big one that they're talking about was the one that allowed Trayvon Martin to be killed by George Zimmerman.
Stand your ground.
Stand your ground.
Yeah.
So basically, Walmart wanted to sell more guns. So ALEC, Walmart was part of the ALEC group, and so I said, okay, let's write out this stand your ground legislation. And
It's
then-
not even that old. I thought it was some like old like
No.
West law
no,
where
no. So and then they start handing it to
man.
these politicians, like, you should probably put this bill forth as your own. And so one time, I think it was on the Colbert Report, like he showed a clip. He's like, not only are they doing this, sometimes they're not stupid enough or don't give a shit enough to even take their watermark off it. So there's a guy standing up in the Senate or Congress where he's like, sir, this bill is one that you put forth, and the politician's like, yeah, no, I wrote that bill. I it's my bill. He's like, oh, because that's funny, because I look at this bill and I look at the top here and there is a logo that says ALEC, and he's like, oh. He's like, I looked on their website and it's the same font, it's the same verbiage, and literally, like, when they write it out, they write like blah blah blah, and then a blank, insert state name here, and then blah blah blah. Like,
oh,
format.
God.
Yeah.
It's just like
so
a
literally,
template.
yeah, literally. Okay, Mitch, you're the Republican senator
Yeah,
from
Michigan.
yeah. Here you go. Here's this. You
Yeah.
just put Michigan, put your name on there.
Man, I did. That
Christian,
was
you're the Republican senator from Indiana. Here you
I don't
go.
want to be from Indiana.
Hawaii.
I want to be from Wyoming.
Man, fuck Wyoming.
I think, therefore I am, and therefore Wyoming is.
Yeah. So like they just create and
Fuck, that's so dark,
so
dude.
the CCA prison like company
Group of companies.
like
Prison lobbyist, I
no,
guess.
so
Or they're just-
CCA owns and operates prisons. Yeah, like
so there's people on that board, and
Yeah.
every board, what their bottom line is getting money.
Oh yeah.
They're
Oh.
shareholders.
And
like,
so they were putting forth like ALEC was putting forth legislation to basically increase incarceration
Alex an
'Cause-
asshole, man.
because
Yeah.
volume is money, right?
Yeah.
The more people that
Yeah.
they have in the prison system,
And the
more
prison
money.
prison guard union in the States, I think, is pretty powerful. So
Yeah.
obviously they're in bed with them too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're busy. There's
Yeah.
so many people in prison.
So-
I
One
think
in
they
three.
have the highest rate
Wow.
of.
Yeah, and
Incarcerated
there's
people
more
ever.
black people incarcerated that were enslaved,
Yeah.
which is insane.
Yeah, so they give it they give
Insane.
you that stat in the doc.
That's so fucked.
So the one thing it shows, like in 1970, there was 324,000 people in the prison system in America. In
Nothing.
1980, there was 500 and some thousand.
Woo,
So it
we're
went up-
making money.
It increased by 200,000 in 10 years.
Yeah, because those action movies, it glorified crime.
1994, I think it was up to 750,000.
Reached
Today,
a million, right?
today,
we got to be over
like,
a million.
or as of 2018 when this doc came out, I think it was up over 2 million.
oh,
And
nice.
that's an increase in drug use for sure.
Well, so that's in the
Fentanyl, dog. Fentanyl.
in the 70s, basically Richard Nixon came out with his war on crime, and there was a Nixon aide who basically said, "Yeah, like war on crime.
War on drugs.
No,
Or
war
war
on
on
crime.
crime.
War on crime.
Reagan was the war on drugs.
Yeah.
Reagan and
okay.
his wife.
I've never heard of the war on crime.
Just saying no.
So Nixon said
It wasn't a good
so
look for
war
Nixon
on crime.
since he
So
was a
like,
criminal.
he was against like anti-war protesters.
Yeah.
So
What?
basically, they said they
Him
used
and-
marijuana to
Yeah.
as or the hippies as a euphemism for marijuana.
Yeah.
So basically, we're attacking the anti-war protesters,
Yeah.
and we're using heroin as a euphemism for black people. So
Yeah.
we're going to crack down on marijuana and heroin, and basically it was just a way to
Yeah.
arrest black people.
To just keep enslaving people.
Yeah.
And
Those
then-
would be crazy tape, like the Nixon tapes to hear when he's
Yeah.
like, we got to do something about this heroin problem. They're like, oh, Jesus.
And then when Reagan came in, he brought in the war on drugs.
Oh, okay.
Nancy.
Basically,
Just say no. It's as easy as that, kids.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Just say no.
So-
No, Nancy.
crack cocaine was introduced in the 80s, and crack cocaine and
To a rave review. Everyone
crack
loved
cocaine
it.
and cocaine are essentially the same drug, just in different formats.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cocaine, if you got caught with 100 grams of cocaine,
Yes.
it was like 6 months in jail.
Yes.
If you got caught with 1 gram of crack, it was
Yes.
like 10 years,
But why was that?
because black people use crack cocaine.
Absolutely.
And why did they use crack cocaine so frequently?
It was cheaper.
It's cheaper.
It was an inner city issue.
And if you're a rich white guy, you can afford 8 pounds of blow.
And why was there so much crack cocaine in the inner cities?
So
Possibly the government.
Yeah.
The CIA fucking funneled it.
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, like it's fucking mind blowing how
Mr. Clinton.
how deep rooted like this fucking issue is.
There were
Yeah, like we
housing
gotta reset the
manipulations
whole
in the same
system
direction.
because it's like you guys been fucking up since 1776, so we got a lot of rewriting to do.
Yeah.
You all better, but just
Holy
back away.
fuck.
Let us write down what we want and yeah.
So like in a kind of like explain like why the right kept getting in, like why Nixon, Reagan, Bush, like they all got in, because the right was always tough on crime. They said, if you want to get your rapists and murderers off the street,
You'll win every time, man,
Yeah.
because you gotta be like, hey, you want a
And
a
then-
safe society, you want a safe neighborhood.
and then the Democrats were kind of always kind of loose on crime. So it was, I think it was when Bush was going in, he was running against Dukakis, and so Dukakis said, you know what, I'm supporting day parole or like weekend parole for murderers and rapists, and then a guy named Willie Horton got out on weekend parole and kidnapped a guy and his girlfriend and stabbed him to death and raped her or something like that. But they used him as like and he was a black man. Used him as like a poster child for like Bush saying, "Oh, Dukakis doesn't care if you get raped or murdered. Like he cares more about the criminals than he
vote.
does the victims."
Oh man.
But then, so when Clinton came in, he was like the first Democrat that was like tough on crime, and he's admitted now. He's like, "Fuck, the crime bill that I introduced in '94 was the worst thing." He militarized the police, basically. Like
you don't think his like alleged sexual predator was the worst thing? He's
Well-
like, some bill that I did was the worst.
worst to black people.
yeah.
That's what Lewinsky said too.
Yeah. Or what about your friend Jeff there, Bill?
Yeah. And like he did like a meeting at like the NAACP where he said, you know, I deeply
Listen, I just want to play my saxophone
Yeah.
and say I'm sorry to you people.
Yeah, he's like, I deeply regret that. Like, basically, he set up the police
What
to
That's
have
fucked.
like all these like militia or military style weapons.
I don't understand what he would think of going to the NAACP. I know I messed that up. And like them being like, yeah, we understand.
Yeah, well,
Like, they
then
all should have collectively been like, dude, fuck you.
when Hillary was campaigning for her run for president, he was
you
at
have to talk to them.
well, he was at one of her things, and there was a Black Lives Matter group there, and they were like protesting him, and he got angry on stage. Like
Really?
it wasn't a good look for him at all.
You
But-
rowdy nappy. Whoa, hey.
But,
he just
yeah,
goes super racist.
It's a crazy, I think important, definitely important watch
Yeah.
right now, especially.
Fuck, man. That's like, it's just crazy when someone is like, I just don't understand why like minorities and like black people are so angry. And they're like half of what we just talked about, I would already be cleaning my gun.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we're gonna go like fuck some shit up, right?
Yeah.
Because like I can't do this.
Yeah. Oh, it's insane.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah.
fucked.
Unfortunately, that is the world.
So it sounds like
we
a good
have
doc
it.
though.
Yeah, definitely.
Powerful.
The 13th. It's
Yeah.
on Netflix.
Yeah, I will definitely check this out.
yeah.
What's that? And then American Teen is streaming nowhere.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much just
yeah.
fucking skip that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where else other than documentary you can watch it. Maybe Amazon Prime. Possibly.
yeah, might be on there. Yeah, because the guy that works for Amazon, so he pushed it.
Yeah, that's right.
You just held that DVD up to look at it, and on the front, I noticed the tagline on the bottom.
Yeah.
Remember high school? It's gotten worse.
Yeah. Remember
Wow.
documentary films? They suck dick now.
And they make Jake on the cover like look super like school shootery.
Yeah.
You know, he gave
Yeah.
me that vibe.
This was
whole
kind
time.
of pre.
But like that doesn't even look like him in the hoodie. There.
no, that looks like a girl.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, on there on the right hand side.
Yeah.
They definitely photoshopped out his.
Acne.
Yeah.
Weird.
His,
Yeah,
his blemishes.
Yeah.
He just looks very like.
Stylized.
Well, see,
I'm
and
gonna get my AR.
I think this is their pictures from like after because that's Colin in the Indiana Tech.
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
And they do look older.
yeah. Well, they just forget to take a cover picture.
Yeah.
It's weird how online it was all the Breakfast Club imagery
Yeah.
and then the actual hard case DVD.
Yeah.
Maybe they were like, no, you can't.
Yeah. So I guess our recommendation is watch it. Don't watch it. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, watch it and laugh and be like, these white
Yeah.
Indiana kids are fucked
Yeah,
up.
it's probably not real life.
If you want something comedy for an hour and a bit,
Yeah, check
give
it
it a
out.
watch.
Yeah, if you want to feel a little bit better about yourself, but actually lie,
Yeah.
watch this. 'cause
That's what I said. Like, if you thought your high school kind of sucked, and like, just look at these kids of like they're committing felonies and
Man, a lot of the time, too, these kids were showing really fucking disturbing traits of like psychological gymnastics to
Yeah.
try to believe the lies they tell themselves.
were any of them smoking?
I did not.
Hannah was smoking in her car.
That's right,
Yes,
she was.
that's-
Yeah.
And she
One of
did
the
say,
first shots.
like, it was like a college recruiter or something that was there and like doing like a mock.
No, a mock interview with a teacher.
Well,
yeah.
mock
yeah.
And she's like, oh, so do you show any signs of or dependability is like
Yeah.
a big thing that we look for? And she goes, I'm not dependable.
And now she's like, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like when you say, I'm gonna be honest with you, they're like, oh, this is gonna be good after. And then the drug of like, do you do drugs
No,
or have
yeah.
you?
She's like, how opposed are you to psychological or drug?
Yeah. I do them.
Yeah,
Like,
and she's like, I
okay.
am very opposed. Okay. Psychological drug.
Yeah.
Screens.
Yeah, she's
screening.
like, I'm very opposed. And then,
She's like, and do you smoke? Yes.
oh man,
And another good part was like the little bastard in like the one class. They're talking about World War One. He's like,
Yeah.
what caused World War? Oh, the guy shot the other guy.
the one
And-
dude shot the other dude.
Yeah. And the teacher's like, well, yeah, many people think that. He's like, yeah, it happened. I was there. Like, you little smart ass.
And the kids start laughing.
Uproarious laughter. Yeah.
I would have been like, I would have laughed if he was like made a reference to like Franz Ferdinand or the guy who actually shot Franz Ferdinand was like, I was in the car. And you're like, fuck, this kid knows.
Yeah.
That's funny. Not just like, nah, I was there. You're like, fuck off, you little retard. You don't even know where France is. Little dickhead. It
So-
wasn't in France. It was in Serbia. I feel like I had to correct myself. Sorry.
Who gets to pull the name for next
You
week?
pulled last one, didn't you?
Well, you both pulled.
Yeah, you
did.
won the
Oh, well, then you go.
shakedown thing.
Yeah.
What the fuck's that thing called?
Rock,
Yeah.
paper, snizzes.
Yeah.
I think we used. You picked American Teen. I think.
I did, yeah,
Yeah.
but Mitch won the rock,
Oh,
paper,
that's
scissors.
right,
So he
Yes,
gets
yeah.
to do first dive and pick a shit one.
Into watching this. Oh no. So I have
Ba, ba,
pulled
ba, 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 ba.
Children of the Grave.
Children of the Grave.
This sounds super duper sad.
About child murderers.
You know, these don't come with descriptions.
Yeah.
I can't say really.
I don't think this is going to be a uplifting one.
No, it will not be as funny as American Teen. But it's going to be way more real.
Hopefully.
You know what? This one's not going to be as bad as you think.
Oh, okay. Children of the Grave's not bad.
No.
Circus?
What you got?
Uncovers the shocking truth, history, and haunting of ghost children, poltergeist kids,
fuck off.
haunted orphanages, and crybaby bridges through untold stories and unmarked
Bro,
graves.
so like, Casper's real?
And also, none of those stories technically exist, so this is a waste of time. Mitch, pick another one.
What's a crying
Yeah,
bridge?
so-
Right.
I don't know.
Crying Baby Bridge?
Crybaby Bridge. It's like
It's just pieces of metal that rub together.
it's
Fucking
like-
idiots.
wait. So I have to read you the review.
Oh, sick. Okay, maybe we gotta watch this.
It's a 2-star review. What a load of rubbish.
It's British too. I love it.
Oh, wait. This review gets so much better
So,
than you could.
like, we gotta watch it then, because I won't pick another one.
The Booth brothers have a long career in softcore porn, but in this stinker, they branched out into documentaries, unquote unquote, about the paranormal. I put documentaries in quotes because usually documentaries at least make some sort of effort to depict real events. I guess stars Keith Age and John Zaffis and Stephen LaChance, billed as extreme haunting specialists, whatever that is, did actually visit locations depicted in the film.
Extreme.
But that seems to be where the connection to reality ends. So yeah, there's so much wrong with this film. I'm tempted to just put it in a list. I did in fact make a list as I was watching it and Googled some of the claims made just to see if it added up.
So we want to watch this or pick something else?
Oh, definitely pick something else.
Yeah.
I feel like we've just said all we can say. That being just
It's one of those like, and admittedly, like I love paranormal stuff, but it's
I
like
can
one of
only
those
handle
like
like 10 minutes of it.
it's
and
like one of
fuck
those
these
hokey
dudes.
like ghost hunter shows on channel where it's just their footage with like night vision. Like, oh, I heard something. Oh, what was that?
Yeah. Like, I don't think anyone goes into that wanting
Oh
or expecting
shit!
actual reality.
Fuck yeah!
Yeah.
My fake baby.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
This one
Never
is
heard of this.
Oh,
this,
dude.
This is one I put in there.
Yeah.
My fake baby.
So it's My Fake Baby was the title of a documentary aired on Channel 4 this week, which
Oh, okay. Channel 4. Cool.
explored the growing popularity of replica babies or reborns. These are dolls designed to look like living babies. They can wriggle, they can breathe, they can sleep, or they can smile.
Sleep. Wasn't that all they do? Like,
Yeah.
they can't be awake.
So yeah,
Tim hasn't moved
Man,
in
that's
4
just people
weeks.
like making money off of people that are like mentally destroyed.
yeah.
That like lost a child and be like, hey, I'll sell you a fake baby for
It
20.
looks just like the one you lost.
Yeah, you can call him Stevie. This one's got both of his arms still. Oh, Jesus.
So I
And like it just shows up in the mail. Like from what I've seen, it just like shows up in a
It's
box.
like some Black Mirror shit.
Yeah. I'm like, press the button and the baby turns on. This is gonna be like Black Mirror type shit, man. Yeah.
I saw this.
Did you show us the trailer? Or like I feel like I've seen the trailer.
I found this
right?
one on Reddit. So yeah.
That is dark.
My fake baby. In 2008, I think I saw the little tag say.
Yeah. So that baby's
Yes.
almost.
So this has been out for a while.
Yeah, that's an old baby.
12 years.
Do you think they grow up?
No.
Or you just trade it in? They're
You
like,
just put them in water and.
Dissolves.
That'd be sick.
Oh, what?
Like, man, this thing grew 6 feet. I don't have room for that.
So one of those weird like Japanese like love dolls.
Yeah, or like that weird thing on the South Park episode with like the giant smoldering snake. And it just
yeah.
keeps going and
Yeah.
fills the whole town. I didn't know the kid was going to be 100 feet tall.
Okay, so we're moving from American teenagers to fake babies.
Is there any
I'm
difference?
So excited.
So yeah, this will be an interesting watch, I think, and
Fake babies.
strap in and see where it takes us.
Get in the car seat.
I hope I don't end up buying one.
I want one.
Yeah, why not?
All right. Well, we'll see everyone next week with our fake babies.
Thanks for listening.